Alright guys, welcome to another episode of No Bullshit Reviews. I am Patrick.
And I'm Justin.
And this time we are reviewing this 4K Ultra HD action camera from
Amazon.com, or aka China.
in this case, yeah. Upon first look, let's open this up.
It has a box and
Yeah,
a camera.
and pictures. Fancy pictures too, as if we're going to take this camera to
You go ahead.
buy. Yeah, you go for it.
I'll let you take that out. I'm going to read a little something off the box here.
Alright.
This was the interesting thing, is this was called and listed as being a generic GoPro. So the interesting thing about this is it says it is a 4K/2K video output, which lists it coming out at 1920 by 1080 by 60 frames per second. Also 1280 by 720 at 60 frames per second. Although on their description they're also stating that recording this we would end up with a basic 720 by 120 frames per second, and also be able to run that in slow motion. Now, the video format on here says MP4, although online there's an argument about it coming out in MOV. The effective pixels for an actual camera, it says it is a 16 megapixel camera, supports a burst of 3 photos per second, and under playback it just says the word support. Don't know what they're saying there, but something got lost in translation for sure. Shooting mode, is single shot, self-timer, continuous shot. And other than that, there's really not much on here that says different. It says waterproof method, need waterproof case, waterproof shell, need. Those are what they say. Waterproof depth is 30 meters. That's some pretty serious stuff. I would imagine that's 3 meters, not 30 meters, but you can find out. Does have a microphone, does have an audio output speaker, does have HDMI output. It is a USB 2.0 interface and micro SD up to 64 gigabyte card. It also comes with an LCD, 2-inch LCD display. All of this is powered by a 3.7 volt, 900 milliamp hour lithium ion battery, and it's roughly going to be about the same as your GoPro, they claim. So it looks like Patrick's already got everything out of the box here. So
Almost. I'm just sitting here looking at all these little clips and contraptions and whatnot. Huh, interesting. We've got a skeleton mount because I know with GoPros personally, because we do have a GoPro for a side-by-side comparison, as well as a GoPro for our above camera. I know that with the waterproof case, the sound quality is quite muffled. We've got a USB cable with the... I always get that mixed up. Is that the mini or the micro?
I can't even tell which one there are there.
It's the flat one.
That's the micro.
Micro, okay. With a micro USB cable. We've got plenty of GoPro-esque mounts. I have noticed that the little nut that goes through the mounts is falling out. I know with GoPros they don't. It's kind of a pain to get them out if you ever have to take them out. What is this?
It's like extra sticky for these guys.
What's the wire?
Keep it from falling off or somebody stealing it maybe?
There's a random cable here. We've
Somebody
got
steal
zip ties. I think they found some quality issues with the back on that. Am I getting that out? With the back on this, because they sent an extra one. This is no different from the back.
Yeah,
that's on
actually
that.
it is. That
is
one right
different?
there, after looking at it, I can tell that there is air holes in that, so that is equivalent to the GoPro skeleton case that comes with it, because this is a solid back case that has air
That's
gaps right
a water.
there.
Okay, yeah, waterproof.
We have waterproof and
Okay,
non-waterproof.
well, I guess they didn't. I'm wrong. Action camera. Is this a user manual? I'd like to know.
Let's power it on here so we can kind of get into that. Okay, so we got a little SD card there
I'll
that
move
did
this
not
up here.
come with it. We put an SD card in it here to try. And we're going to power this guy on. And if we can hear it, it makes some pretty good noise.
Not
Sports XDV. and we can see picture through it already, which is one step up for me from a GoPro, because I always wondered why they didn't put a viewfinder or an LCD on a GoPro.
They put a backpack for it.
Yeah, but the backpack's so freaking huge, I've
And
never been a
expensive.
fan of it. On the side of this, there is not a cover over the USB, micro, HDMI, and our HDMI mini or micro. I'm not sure which one that is. The smallest of the 3 HDMI ports,
That's the, yeah, I think it's the micro.
and then a micro SD. And in addition to that, on this side here, we have an up button which turns on the Wi-Fi. We have a lower button which helps you go through the menus, a mode button on the front which functions as the power button, and an OK button or shutter button on the top. The display comes on when you hit that. It automatically is in 4K 30 frames per second as of right now. When you hit the mode button, it switches from there to an actual camera, 16 megapixel. And then one more time switches to 720p by 120 frames per second slow motion. Pushing it one more time gets us to our review videos that come back, and then once more goes to a settings menu. You can take all of this here, and if you can read any of that manual, it's probably pretty complicated. Looks like it's all in Chinese.
No, it's not all in Chinese. English
Oh.
is in front. Or English.
English is in front, okay. But the nice thing about this is you just, to turn on the Wi-Fi and things like that, it seems to be a little bit easier in my eyes. Because you just push one button and it's on Wi-Fi, it's ready to go. Not push and hold, you just tap it. I think the buttons seem to me to be a little bit better of an interface than the buttons on the GoPro.
GoPro.
So, want to do maybe a side-by-side on the GoPro and this, just to kind of compare the two of them?
Yep, so we have done the side-by-side videos. We're going to cut to those here shortly so you can get an opinion for yourself. I'm going to try to upscale them to, I'm going to try to put the 4K in here as best I can. When rendering, it's going to be a little rough going from one to the other. So they will mostly be side-by-side comparison with 720 at 120 frames per second. I'll run some slow motion through both side-by-side. We'll have them right next to each other in the frame. And let's go ahead and cut to that so you can see exactly for yourself how it is. What's the highest frame rate on it?
What was that?
There's a new mic.
Oh, okay. And if you see 10 milliseconds of green immediately followed by 10 milliseconds of red, your eye will see it as yellow.
Alright, so after the side-by-sides, the audio, I'm calling bullshit.
The audio is definitely not good. It sounds like somebody's got a tin can held up to it. It's really, really tinny. There's no bass. Picks up a lot of background noise, not really dedicated to what it needs to be. It's just very, very cheap sounding.
The video indoors, I don't like the warmness that it puts off, and the contrast it just seems to be set too high. It's really, in my opinion, dash cammy. I've got a dash cam in my car that I use quite often, and yeah, it's got a little bit of grainy quality to it. Outdoors, you can really see it. Some of the footage that you saw, you could really tell the difference. The 4K, unfortunately, I have to render the video in 720, so I'm not really going to get to show the 4K. But in my opinion, meh.
So I'm going to counteract that opinion here. For sound, neither one is really great when you've got your skeleton case, or when not your skeleton case, but when you have your actual waterproof case on. So I've got a little bit of a different opinion from it. When I looked at the 4K resolution, pictures that came back from it and so forth, we were actually achieving about 29.5 or 29.6 frames per second, which was actually amazing to me. But when you moved real quick or any motion happened real quick, it did not have a lot of artifacts, but possibly something was dropping frames. Whether it was this or the actual device, I don't know. We have not looked at it on a TV yet to find out if that's the case, but on the computer it did that, and we've actually had to try multiple different computers because we were having a lot of frame problems with both the GoPro and these here. So after trying a bunch of different devices to play these back, I'm going to say the quality was a hair better. It looked a little warmer, a little realer. Outside, it may have exaggerated the whites a little bit, making it a little bit brighter than it was. I'm kind of trying to remember. We do not have a great side-by-side because it was rainy and wasn't really that great at the time. But as far as like the two cameras, you're not even really going to see a good comparison, I don't think. So as far as the camera, I've got to give it a definite thumbs down, but it was really hard to do this. The reason being, for me, the bad qualities are the stupid top latch on the case. The battery life is nowhere near as equivalent to the other one. The battery is also not something you can get easily. Big drawback there. Comes with a plethora of items, which made me think, oh, this might be one of the best things in the world. It is interchangeable with GoPro stuff. The front case on this and the buttons on this are definitely not as easily movable as they are on the GoPro cases. So, as comparing it to a GoPro, which is kind of a good comparison, it's a little bit bigger, but it doesn't weigh anywhere near as much as the GoPro, making you think there's not anything in it really. Also, it has the display in the back. To me, that's a plus. But I cannot sit here and tell you that it's a great product. I'm going to have to give it a thumbs down and say this is also bullshit.
Yeah, holding the 4K camera and holding the GoPro, you actually feel like you're holding a little bit more with the GoPro, even though the 4K is basically just thicker. The rest of the dimensions are the same, but it feels chintzy. So yeah, overall I'm gonna give it a bullshit as well. I like the contrast that I get out of my GoPro, and I'm not a GoPro person. I like a different kind of camera, which we will cover in a different video.
This camera, with everything you see here, including, even though this is made in China, including a power brick. How many cameras nowadays come with a charger? I don't even think the GoPro does, if I'm not mistaken.
Comes with the USB and not
USB cable, not a brick.
This one came with the dual battery charger.
Interesting. That might have been a package, but I do believe most do not come with anything. For $60, that's what all of this was. $60. So I'm going to say, if you're tight on money or anything else like that, and you don't want to pay $300 for a name brand, this thing's going to work. Not as long. Batteries are going to be a little bit hard to find. We don't even know. There's definitely no way this is going to 30 meters. This is not rated in any IP rating at all. It is just what's written on the box. So, I would have to say, I think it's bullshit, but I still think it's a good idea for the value. Can I say that both at once?
Yeah.
Okay, then that's what I'm going with.
I'll agree. It's a good value, but if you can afford to get a name brand one, you're going to get what you pay for.
So I guess basically I'm going to call this, instead of bullshit, I'm gonna call it cat shit. A little smaller, but you know, still doesn't smell like flyers.
So that does it for this review video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Rate, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you want us to review. If there's any products that you feel that you're interested in, you want us to check it out, let us know. If you're a manufacturer, go ahead and contact us. Let us know if you got anything you want us to review. And I guess we will see you guys in the next video.
See you later. 3 hours and 57 minutes, there's no way we did that.